Hello, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington with the Discover Brightside video podcast and network. And as we have talked a lot about on this channel, that we want to empower you to live better lives, to find greater jobs and have better careers, and also to start your own business. And I'm so pleased to have in my studio today Eric Felder. And Eric is in this beautiful ocean area, so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But Eric, please tell us about you and what Blue Ocean Hire does, and tell us about yourself.
Sure. So Blue Ocean Hire, we're a veteran-owned executive search firm focused within areas of healthcare, so pharmaceutical, biotech, healthcare technology, and specialty pharmaceuticals. We're based out of Jupiter, Florida, and we have another location up in Orlando, Florida. And our team size consists of 4 individuals. Two of us are actually previous military.
Wonderful. And we have a great military and a veteran audience. In fact, I'm getting ready for my veteran podcast in the month of
Okay.
November when we celebrate Veterans Day. So
Great.
I'm happy to share that we can air this video during
Sure.
those promotions as well.
That'd be great.
So, given the state of the economy, I'm really surprised that you're even in the hiring business because we've heard that jobs are getting scarcer and scarcer. So,
Right.
what do you have to say about that?
I would say that's true. I think based on the state of the economy with tariffs that are impacting certain areas of healthcare, some of the legislation as well, I would say overall, it's really predicated on where you are in the industry. For us, we're a healthcare centric executive search firm. So healthcare is always going to be a necessity despite the cost or despite the obstacles. And we're more niche into some of the pharmaceutical areas of healthcare. So if you look at the patient populations across the US, usually medications are always the necessity despite the cost. So I think based on where we've positioned our search firm and our practice areas, we really haven't seen much of a dip or a decline in hiring or whatnot. So if something is growing, something's always weaning off. If direct hire is strong, then that means the temp or the contract side is weak and vice versa. So I think we've done a good job of really focusing on core areas of healthcare that are not or have not been impacted as much as other areas of recruitment or hiring.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that, we call it second careers and
Sure.
second lives because we have a lot of veterans, and I think they're
Okay.
the best hires because they've been trained by the military,
Sure.
they speak foreign languages, they've traveled all around the world. And I myself have a lot of veterans that work for us as well. Uh,
Okay.
and I feel like they're the best talent, really. And thank you all for your services as well. So, what do you think about hiring veterans and or people who have come from the corporate sector with a lot of experience? Because starting a new career or starting a second life can be devastating for some people.
It can be daunting. I think that I'm a proponent of hiring veterans. The last person that we hired was previous military Air Force Academy in the military. So I was literally looking to hire somebody in our team that came from the military. I was successful in transitioning over. I think it gives you the tools, the resources. I think the biggest thing is that you learn how to work independently. I think that's a huge component of it. The second component is I think you're used to functioning in uncomfortable situations, whether that's being deployed, moving to a new city or state where you don't know anybody. I think that reliance on yourself and that confidence, I think that's critical to starting a position or leaving the military and going to the civilian sector. Because at the end of the day, it's all reliant upon you. And I think that the military does a really good job of that. In addition to, organization, drive, being responsible, things like that. So that's why we're huge on hiring veterans here, and we also do within our practice areas. A lot of the times, the individuals that leave the military, sometimes we'll target those that are of a healthcare related experience. That could be a dentist, it could be a nurse, it could be a physician that had that military training, and they're able to convert right over into an ecosystem that doesn't have the practitioners, the clinicians, the providers. So when you look at healthcare as a whole, the population of the US is growing, but clinicians serving them is slowly growing. It's not keeping up with the gap. So bringing individuals from the military right on over, it works really, really well. So sometimes we'll target, transition assistance programs with certain branches, we'll advertise. We may do an on-site or two in the past. So I am a huge, and we're a huge proponent of bringing the military over, and then also introducing it to our client groups. Because that's really appealing, hiring veterans into healthcare related industries. It works really well, and it has a high level of reverberance.
So there you have it, dear veterans, military, and also people who are civilians who have great experience. Get in touch with Blue Ocean Hire, and they have a fantastic website, and everything is self-explanatory. You can load your resumes, you can look for jobs, and it's a beautiful website. And I'm going to quickly share it on my screen so you know how to find it. It's called blueoceanhire.com, and it's got tons of information ready for you, and they are veteran owned as well. So make sure that you go to their website and you are able to find them. Any last minute comments for my audience?
I would just say, I think past success is indicative of future success. If you've had successes in the military, the likelihood of you bringing that over wherever you go, it's going to happen. Just stay, I would say consistent in your approach and what you do. Um, if you've done something new previously, do it again. But I would also say do your research and diligence. How things work in the military, then transitioning over to the civilian world. It's not all as organized. It's not all fed to you. So you really want to take all of that you've learned and apply it to something new, but be detail oriented. Do a lot of research in everything. Use that relentless pursuit that you did previously in the civilian world, because I do think it does stand out. I think you stand out as a candidate. I think you stand out as a professional. You stand out as a clinician. So leverage all of that and just stay consistent with that.
And keep applying. One
Yeah.
of the biggest successful stories I know, and I've had people who've told me this over and over again, that even though you do get rejected pretty
Yeah.
often, and sometimes it could be for the silliest reasons, your resume is not flagged, or it's not AI compliant, or it
Right.
doesn't rank. So it could be for just or they just overwhelmed and they didn't even get to see you.
Right.
So just don't give up. Just
Right.
keep applying, and you will get the job of your dream. And we've got a lot of success stories in our group where people have actually made it. So keep trying. It's a tough economy, and get more competitive while you're waiting for a job. Upgrade your skill set. You can go to there's Google offers free training, and there's tons of universities that have online courses. So upgrade your skill set so that when you do get that interview, you have the skill set that they're looking for. So
Right.
would you recommend any courses, or do you think I always tell my audience to keep retooling every day?
I would say, when it comes to applying to jobs, it is difficult to get out there. I think technology can be an asset, or it could also be like a deterrent. So I would recommend customizing a resume for each search that you have. Have your resume, that's a big aspect. The resume gets you in the door, it doesn't get you the job. You get you the job. So looking at having a resume that stays consistent, but you modify the cover letter towards your job. That would be the first thing. The second thing is whenever you're applying to a job, use specific keywords. Technology, like I said, can be a deterrent or an asset. Hiring companies are using technology to screen your resume for a certain percentage of fit to the job. So if you're an IT executive and you're applying to be a pharmacist, it's not going to work out because you don't have the percentage of keywords, where technology is looking for, fit to skill set to requisition. So I would recommend customize a cover letter, but keep your resume consistent. The other thing is like training and things, what you can do with that. Uh, Using chat is or AI is pretty powerful these days. So it's how do I prepare for an interview? How do I get certified in this? How do I get a degree with that? AI is pretty good at walking you through step by step and sequentially to help you get to where you want to go. That could be videos, it could be tutorials, it could be even online courses. But I would recommend looking at chat or AI to help you find those courses that you need that are mission critical for the right role.
Okay, that's great advice. So there
Sure.
you have it. Get yourself compliant. Make sure that you
Yeah.
customize your resume. Make sure you use a recruiting firm, because
That
they
is the other
help
point I would say is,
you.
having a good search firm that has the relationships with the executives and the hiring managers because often at times, if you're in specific markets, the resume will go to an ATS system. Nobody will pick it up. Having the right relationship with a search firm, with the leadership team at that company or whatever that may be, is worth its weight in gold because they can talk to them very candidly and casually, evangelize the skill sets that you have, and tell them, hey, you need to set some time aside, and they're going to listen if you have the right relationship. So that is a huge way to get into the right companies.
There you have it. So go to Blue Ocean Hire
Right.
today. Don't waste time, and get your resume up there. And if you do qualify, they will call you. So
Sure.
don't say, Elizabeth, we saw the podcast. I put my resume out there. They will only call you if you qualify. Okay. So try again. And I wish you all great success, and there are plenty of jobs available, even in this tough economy, that
Right.
you can qualify for, and don't give up. All right, you're watching Discover Brightside, and Eric, we have discovered you and Ocean Hire, and I love the fact that you're a veteran owned. So thank you for your services
Pleasure.
and for helping people to get hired. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the time.